profile. Hello guys, I come back today to do mathematical literacy paper 1, November. Actually, I forgot to write something here. It's November 2021. Right, so in this video guys, I'm not going to do the whole question paper. I will only be doing question 1 and question 2. So because if I do the whole question paper, it's gonna take a long. But rest assured that if you have subscribed to my channel, you'll always get notified whenever I post a new video. Therefore now I will post another video on question 3 and question 4, right, and question 5 as well. Right, I don't want to waste too much time talking. I want to take too much time treating the question paper, right? Okay, getting straight to the question paper now. Question number 1. Right, what I like in Maths Lit is that you have to read the information given to you with a clear understanding so that you can be able to answer the question. So I'm not going to rush to answer the question. The first thing that I do is to understand the information given. Then after that I will be able to go toward to the asked questions. Right, looking at question number 1 there, we are being given table, which is this table number 1, right? Table 1 below shows the fuel price in the US dollar in 6 African countries on 5 of June 2009 and 1st of March 2021, with the exchange rate per currency on the 1st of March 2021. Right, on the first column here, what we can see here, we can see the countries, those 6 countries that they talked about. They're in this column. Right, then what is on the second column? Here we can see the price of the fuel, but the question is in which currency. They are all in US dollar, right? So when we read this, it means the fuel price in South Africa on the 5th of June, it was $1.04, right? So okay, so same applies to everything here, right? Then what is happening in this column? So in this column, they show us the exchange rate between dollar and other currencies, right? So for example, the first one here, it means that, okay, when we read here, they say current dollar exchange rates or currency, right? It means that $1, I'm only going to give you an example with South Africa. It means $1 is equals to R15,36. That's what this means, right? So now we have a clear understanding of the table. So now we can go and attempt the questions, because now we understand the information that is given on the table, right? Okay, we go to 1.1.1. They say the action verb. What I like is that you have to know what the action verb here. So the action verb here clearly tells us that calculate the fuel price increase for Zimbabwe from 5th of June 2019 to 1st of March 2021. Right, what they want to know here, they want to know how much did the price of fuel increase with, you understand? So now, because when you go to Zimbabwe here, we can see that in 2019 the fuel of price, it was 80 cents, right? So when you look here, the price have went up, so we need to know how much did the price go up with, you understand? So it's gonna be simple. Let's take the current. We'll assume that this is the current fuel price. We're gonna say 1,258 1,258 minus 0,80, which gives us, let's see, 1,258 minus 0,80, which is equals to 0,458. Why did I say I was supposed to write 58? Yes. So the price of fuel in Zimbabwe, it have increased with 0,458 dollars, because here now we also have to be specific, right? So it have increased to 0,458 dollars from 0,80 to 1,285. Then this is how you're gonna get your marks. You will get your 1 mark for writing the final answer and the 1 mark for subtracting, right? Then let's move on to the second one. Now when you go to the second one, now they say the action verb says, we look at the action verb, right? We look at the action verb. It says write down the current exchange rate of Botswana Pula to the US dollar in the following format. Right, like I said, I gave you an example with the dollar and rand. I said whatever that you see here, it means $1 is equals to this. You understand? So now the one that they want here, they want to know the currency in what? In S1 Botswana Pula. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. When you look at this, it means that it is $1 is equals to 11,14 Botswana. I think it's like this, yeah. Botswana Pula, right? Now, or maybe I should use just let me just, okay, it's fine. Let me leave it like this. So, is the answer requiring the exchange rate to be like this? No, totally. It is a total no, right? So they want the answer to be as 1 Botswana Pula is equals to what dollars? You understand? So the easy thing that we're going to do here, we can see already here we have the exchange rate, you understand? But the exchange rate now, it says $1 is equals to 11,14 Botswana Pula. So what is it that we're going to do? We are simply going to divide here. We divide this by 11,14, so that this will cancel this and we remain with 1 Botswana Pula. You understand? So we remain with 1 Botswana Pula. So what we do on the right, we must also do it on the left. Then we divide this one by 11,14, right? Okay, right. So let's check now. So this is going to be, now we know that our reminder now here is 1 Botswana Pula is equals to what? Then we're going to say 1 divided by 11,14, which gives us they didn't tell us how we should round off, but this is an exchange rate, so those lot of numbers, they matters. So make sure at least you can maybe round it to 5 decimal, because even 1 decimal makes a lot of difference, right? So that's going to be 0.89767. So we can leave it here as 1 2 3 4 5 6. We can leave it. So our answer now, this is dollars now. That means 1 Botswana Pula is equals to this. So the way they want it here, they say they want it as 1 Botswana Pula. So what can you do? You just change it now. You just say 1 Botswana Pula is equals to 0.0896 97 9767 dollars, right? Then you will get yourself 2 marks. It definitely is going to be 1 and 2 for dividing, right? Let's go to the next one. Now the next one, they say identify the countries. They don't just need one country, they need countries which showed a decrease in the fuel price from 5th of June 2019 to the 1st of March 2021. So we're going to look for countries, not just one country, but countries that showed a decrease in the fuel price. So if we look at South Africa here, as our first country here, South Africa, it was 1,04, so now it have increased to 1,061, so it didn't decrease, so we cannot talk about South Africa. Let's look at Angola. The price was 0,47, now the price is 0,254, right? So that means a country that showed a decrease here, we can talk about Angola here, right? As our first country is Angola. Then let's look at the next one. Let's look at Zimbabwe. It increased. Namibia, so when you look at Namibia here, it was 0,88, so now it's 0,7, so it means the price have went down for Namibia now as well. Namibia, right? Let's look at Swaziland. Swaziland, the price was 0,86, now is 0,87, so it means the price now have went up, right? So let's look at Botswana. It was 0,84, now it's 0,73, so it means now the price of fuel for Botswana had also gone down. Right, so you'll get yourself 2 marks. Remember here, they definitely look for all the countries that have showed an increase. So don't see 2 marks there and then only name 2 countries. They're actually looking for all the countries that showed a decrease, right? So let's look for at 1.1.4, right? They say arrange in descending order the fuel price in the US dollar for 1st of March 2021. So now we have two price of fuels here. We have the one in 2019, we have the one in 2021, right? So we are going to look at we are going to arrange the prices in 2021. So we're going to arrange them in ascending order. So before you write there, you can check, you can just take your pencil here, check which one is going to be the first one. But where are you starting? You are starting from the biggest number to the smallest number here, because it's in ascending order, right? So looking here, we have 1,258. This can be our number one. Then it's going to be followed by, let's look for 1 comma something, right? So looking at this one, this can be number 2. Then let's check again. Now we no longer have the ones, so we're going to look at the 0 now. Let's look at 0,9. We don't have anything that says 0,9. Let's look at 0,8. We actually have one that have 0,8. It means this will be number 3. Yeah, this will be number 3. And then the other one, 0,8, we don't have. Now we move to 0,7. So if you check, we have two 0,7, right? Then now we can compare the number after the 7. So we can see that between 9 and 3, 9 is the biggest. So this is going to be our fourth number, because this is 79, this is 73, right? That means the biggest one is this. Then this will definitely be number 5, right? Then now, what can we check again now? Let's check 0,6. Do you have anything of that nature? 0,6 we don't have. 0,6 we don't have. 0,5 we don't have. Actually we are left with what? This one is number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we are left with this one. That means this is going to be number 6. Right, let's go and arrange them in that order. Go to arrange them in that order. So the first one is going to be 1,254, followed by 1,061, followed by 0,8, 0,87, right? Then 0,796, followed by 0,732, followed by 0,254. So now we have to go back, check our prices here. There were only 6 countries, therefore those numbers, they must be 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you'll be given you 2 marks there, right? Let's go to the next one, 1.1.5. right? What are they saying? They are saying, where's my calculator? Okay, right. 1.1.5, they say the probability of randomly selecting a country that is not South Africa is 5/6, right? Which is correct. But here there is no question. Everything here is just a statement, actually, you know. Now they say write this probability in a decimal form rounded to 3 decimal places. So here, guys, this is a free mark. Why am I saying this is a free mark? You only need to take your calculator and say 5 divided by 6. 5 divided by 6. My calculator is off. What is happening? Okay, 5 divided by 6. of which now you're going to get, okay, this calculator now is not working with me now. Where's the other calculator? Where's the other calculator? I can find my other calculator. Okay, it's fine. Let me try. I don't see the other calculator. So I'll try to use this one. 5/6. It now gives me. Remember here, I don't even have to think too much. I will just, okay, let me start. It's 5/, I mean, look, I write 6. Where else I'm supposed to say 5/6, which now gives us 0.8333. Lot of 3's there, but then the question says round off to 3 decimal places, so it means they need 3 numbers after the comma. So our answer is going to be 0.833. So we have 3 decimals. So this is how our answer is going to be. So it's going to be 1 and 1. Right? Then let's move on. Right, we are done with this question, right? Then we move on to the next one. Right, we move on to 1.2. I'll try to move first so that I don't want to keep this video long, right? Again, I don't go here. I must go here first so that I understand the information given, right? Now here they say the graph below indicates the energy source used for cooking in different provinces, right? Now if you check here, you have the provinces, and then if you check here, you have the different energy source for this graph, right? You have electricity, gas, paraffin, wood, and other, right? So now we have 9. I mean, let me see how many provinces we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 provinces with different energy source used for cooking, right? Okay, we can see that. Now let's go straight to the question. Now here they just say identify the source of energy that is mostly used for cooking. So on the graph you can see, okay, let me say with other, now we're going to check a part that has some lines as if they are crossing. So it's only, you see this one. So if you look at Mpumalanga, this is other, right? So the source that is used, that is mostly used for cooking, you can check is this source in all provinces. So we come and check on our key here. So we find that this is electricity. So our answer here is what? Is electricity. Right. Then you get to 2 marks. So these are the 3 marks. So to my student that I'm currently saying, I advise them that whenever they're writing maths lit, make sure that they must make sure that they pay attention to question 1 and question 2, because they are full of free marks here. There are most questions here are free marks here. So okay, let's move on. Name the province that use the most wood for cooking, right? So we must check the key. How is the wood presented here? So you can see it is having some dot inside here. There is some dot. So when you check here, we can't even see it, but when we check Eastern Cape here, we can see this is the wood. You understand? So let's compare it with Northern Cape. We can see that Eastern Cape is still winning. Now let's check against it Free State. So Eastern Cape is still winning. So let's check it against KwaZulu-Natal. Alright, KwaZulu-Natal now is beating Eastern Cape. Now it means so far KwaZulu-Natal is still the most the province that uses most wood for cooking, but we are not done. Then we compare it against with Northwest. KZN is still high. Then we go to Gauteng, they are not using wood for cooking. Then let's go to Mpumalanga. If we can compare Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal, it seems like they are equal, right? So let's go to the last one, Limpopo. When you look at Limpopo here, Limpopo is having, let me say, many people are using wood for cooking. So Limpopo here is going to be our province. This is the province that uses most wood for cooking. Then you get yourself 2 marks. Already we have 4. You'll pass here. Right. 1.2.3, right. The price of paraffin fluctuate. On 3 February, the price was 764.59 cents per liter. Right? There is no question. This is a statement. Right? These are going to be our question, number A and number B. They say, write down in rand the cost of 1 liter of paraffin. So here the question is that you convert the cent to rands. You understand? So when we convert, we're going to look at this. 1 rand have how many cents? It have 100 cents. Right. So every time when you convert, let me add a page so that I'm going to do something. Every time when you convert, you must think about big and small. Right. Every time, as long as there's a question is talking about conversion, think about this. When you convert something to something, there must be something that is small, something must be big when you compare the two. Right. When you move from the small unit, I'm calling it that way, to the biggest, when you convert a big unit to be a small unit, you multiply. So, and then when you convert a small unit to be a big unit, you divide. You multiply by the relationship number, and then you divide by the relationship number. Right? So, between rand and cent, what is the relationship number? The relationship number is 100. Right? So now the question is about, do we divide or do we multiply? Right? So we have the cents. Now when you look at the rand and the cents, we are going to say the rand is a big unit and the cent is a small unit. Why? A big unit, you always see it by a small number, and a bigger unit and a smaller unit, you always see it by a big number. Right? So now it means we are moving from small unit to the bigger unit. What do? We divide. We divide by what? By the relationship number. Now someone asks, what is the relationship number between rands and cent? It is 100. Are we clear? So let's go back. So it means here we will just take 764 comma what is happening with my things here, comma 59 divide by 100, which is equals to 764,59 divided by 100 is equals to 7,6459. So here you can at least round off to the nearest 10 cents, you know. I prefer it that way. So if we round off to the nearest 10 cents, we can say this is 7 rand 60 cent. Yeah, just like this, right? So let's move on to number B. Determine to the nearest rand the cost of 12.5 liter of paraffin. Right. again, free marks. These are the free marks, right? So what are you going to do? Let me add another page, right? So what are you going to do? You are converting. Remember, 1 liter is now 7 rand 60, right? So we're going to say 1 liter multiplied by how many liters. Now we want to know the price of 12.5 liters, right? So we're going to multiply by 12.5, which gives us 7.60 multiplied by 12.5, which gives us 95 rand. Just like that. Let's go back to the next one. Name other form of energy that could be name another form of energy that could be used for cooking, which could fall under other category, right? So we must think about anything that is not here, right? This is number 1.2.4, 1.2.4, right? First thing, you know, when there is no electricity, people uses solar. It means now solar can be one example that of energy source that we can use to cook, right? So we can also talk about coal. People are using coal, mbawla. The same way people do mbawla, they can also use mbawla to cook, which means they are going to use coal, right? So other people from the villages, they use the cow poop. People know this, especially people from the villages, they know what I'm talking about here, right? Another thing, there are people that are not using solar, but some people, they are using generator, right? So if something that I didn't mention here, you can think of that can be of help, that you can use as a source to cook. Okay, another thing that we can talk about here, there is this gel that they use to cook, but it only uses a primer stove. So you can also mention it, right? Let's go to the next. Okay, all the questions here have been answered, right? I think we are managing time correctly, right? Let's go to 1.3. That will be the end of question 1, right? The following questions were taken from a company's information sheet. So from A up until E, these are the questions that they have used in the company. It means here we can be talking about that handling, the first step that has to be done of developing the questions or designing the questions. So it means these are the questions designed to collect data, right? Now you say, how many hours per day do you spend reading? How many books have you read in the last 16 weeks? How many books have you bought in the last 3 months? So you can see these are the questions developed to collect data, right? So let's go to the questions immediately. Identify the data collection instrument that was used to collect the above information, right? Now remember, we only have we can use 3 instruments. We can use 3 methods of collecting the data, but here already they gave you the weight instrument. So we know that the method involved in collecting data, they are 3, right? Is observation, survey, and interview, right? So now you ask yourself, can an observation be an instrument? No. It cannot. But then now here we can talk about someone can say, okay, the instrument that was used here is an interview, because now why will this person say this? Because now during the interview, it means the interviewer now is going to write these questions down on a paper. So that is the instrument that they are using to collect the data, right? So it means now that paper, we call it an instrument, right? So another person here, the instrument, they can say they used a survey, because now a survey, it means now questions have been written down. You understand? The questions have been written down, then they give them to the person that they want to interview, the interviewee. Or maybe no, you're not going to talk about the interview. The questions can be written down and be given to the person that you want to take the data from, right? So if you don't want to say survey here, you can say questionnaire. So questionnaire and survey is one thing. You can name one instead of naming the other one. So you can say survey or you can say the questionnaire, right? Now the next question: name the next step in the data cycle after the instrument have been completed and collected. Now I'm going to name you those steps in data handling, right? The first step, it is to design or develop questions. After designing and developing the questions, you collect the data. Okay, so after collecting the data, you classify and analyze the data. So you see that now. Now it means now we must talk about this, the step after you. Well, okay, let me go back. Say name the next step in the data cycle after the instrument have been completed. It means after designing the questions and collecting the data. So what do you do next? You classify and analyze the data. You understand? So here you can even go further and say after that you summarize. You understand? But I don't think summarize is going to be the correct answer here, because summarizing comes after classifying and organizing, right? So the correct answer here is going to say that you classify. Okay, let me write it here. The next step is going to be classifying, and organize data. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. 1.3.3. State whether the choice given for question D represent categorical or numerical data. Okay. Were the books you bought hard copies or soft copies? Now if you check the books here, you understand? So when I give the answer, let's say now they use the interview. As an interview, when I give the answer here, I must categorize that the books that I bought, they were copies, or I mean they were soft copies or they were hard copies. So it means the data here is being categorized. The data is being categorized. You understand? Right. 1.3.4. Write the acronym that in full. Right. Free marks. Free Mahala. Mahala marks this one. Value added text, which is 15%. That one we know. Right. Now give an example of business that will find the above data useful. Right. Now you just name any company that or business that can find this information useful. They want to know the books that you're using, you know, how many books you're reading, how many, you understand? So now there can be only companies. You cannot say this information. I just want to give you an example. It's not necessary for ShopRite, you know. So you need to talk about what? Here we can talk about library. This can find this information very useful for them, right? So another one, we can talk about the bookstore. You understand? It can be very useful for them as well, right? And it can also be useful for publishers so that they can see what are the interests of people, you understand? So that now they can see that, okay, we have to publish this kind of information to the people, you understand? So this kind of information is going to be useful for them, right? This brings us to the end of question number 1. Then we continue to question number 2. All right. Okay. Right, let me move myself here and put my face here. Right. Question number 2. Right. Looking at question number 2, let's understand the information first. That's what I like the most. Right. Mrs. Smith would like to buy a car but does not have the full cash amount. She downloaded 2 payment options for 2 different cars as shown in table 2. Right. As you can see, we have Ford Figo and we have VW Polo, right? Now, if you can check here, these are the retail price or the cash price. If someone goes now to Ford, she can get this Ford Figo cash by 215,100, right? Then someone can also get a VW Polo with 220,300, okay? Right. So now the deposit for Ford Figo is 5%, then the deposit for VW Polo is 0%. That means when you want this one, you don't even pay any deposit, right? Then the monthly installment, this one is 2,999. Then this one is 3,000. The residual value, this is 30% of the cash price. Then the residual value here is 116,759. Monthly admin fee, this one is 69. Then this one is 2.08% of the monthly installment. Term agreement for Ford Figo, you're going to pay for 72 months. Then for VW Polo, you're going to pay 48 months. That is the same, obvious, right? Look at this. Residual value is the last month's payment, right? Okay, now we can go to the questions. State what type of payment option is shown in table 2. Right, the payment option here is simple: hire purchase. Hire purchase, you understand? Hire purchase. Someone can come and say balloon payment, you know, you can mention them, you understand? Right, I don't want to dwell much on that. Someone can say monthly installment, I mean, yeah, monthly installment, you know. So yeah, you can mention those. Then let's go to number 2. Calculate the deposit amount for Ford Figo. Ford Figo, now they say for a deposit you need to pay 5%. So this 5% is going to be 5% of the cash price, right? So how are we going to do that? We're just going to say 215,100 multiplied by 15 over 100. So it's going to be 215,100 multiplied by 15 over 100, which is equals to, no, not 15. Why am I saying 15? Where is the 15 coming from now? Multiply by 5. It's 5, not 15. 215,100 multiplied by 5 over 100, which gives us 10,755. So this is going to be our deposit amount. So 1, 2. Right. Number 3, write down in simplified form the ratio of the term agreement of Fortfigo to VW. So every time when you do the ratio, you look at this. You look where there's the word to. It plays the important part. So when you write this, it's going to be Fortfigo to VW Polo. But now, what are they talking about? They are talking about the term agreement. Let's look at this term agreement, right? So we check the term agreement for Fortfigo is 72 months. Then this one is 48 months, right? So what do we do now? They don't want this in a unit ratio. There's a difference between a simplified ratio and a unit ratio, right? A unit ratio is always expressed as 1:1 something else, or something else is to 1. This is a unit ratio. So now they want our answer to be in a simplified ratio, right? So what can we check here? You just gonna divide. You just want to divide here to simplify this, but it must not be in a unit ratio, right? So what we can check here, let's check what is the half of 48. If we say 48 divided by 2, we get 24. Can 24 go into 72? 72 divided by 24. It can go. So we're just gonna divide here by 24, and we'll also divide this side by 24. So that means now we're going to have what? 3:1. This is a simplified ratio. You understand? Because now, why? Because we can see that it's not 1:2. You understand? Or something is to 1. You understand? So this is going to be our 2 marks. Let's go back. Right. Which one of the 2 vehicles will be more cost effective in terms of monthly budget? Right. When you look at the 2 cars, this car, you are going to take long to pay it, but when you look at this car, it's going to take less months to pay it. So the car that is going to be which one of the 2 vehicles will be more cost effective in terms of the monthly budget? Okay, I didn't read that one correctly. Which one of the 2 vehicle will be more cost effective in terms of monthly budget? Okay, yes, the way I have explained. So look at this. You are going to take too much time to pay your Fortfigo than VW. Yes, when you look at the price, this price is small, but you are going to pay it for a long time. Therefore now this Fortfigo is going to be what? It's going to be more cost effective. You understand? So what is our question here? Is 2.1.4. 2.1.4. So our answer here is going to be Fortfigo, because you are now going to take time to settle your monthly payment. You understand? Okay, right. Let's go to number 5. Right. 2.1.5. Calculate the total cost of VW Polo if the monthly installment remained the same throughout the contract except for the final payment. You may use the following formula. Total cost is equals to total value of monthly installment plus admin fee plus residual fee. So let me do this. 1.5 total cost. Okay, let me write TC so that I will save space and time. Right, total cost is equals to is it monthly cost? Okay, monthly installment plus admin fees plus residual value. Right, now let me go back. Now if you look at the VW Polo here, it says 48 months, but when you look at the residual value here, it says residual value is the last month's payment. Do you get it? So it means now we're going to separate everything here. I'm going to separate everything. I'll have the monthly installment here. How do we calculate it? We're gonna say how much do we pay per month. How much do we pay per month? We pay 3,345. 3,345. We're going to pay this for 47 months. Now someone asks, why do I have to say 47? Whereas here they say we're going to pay the term agreement for 48. Now the reason why I say 48 is because the residual value on the 48 month, you are not going to pay the monthly payment, you are going to pay the residual value, because they say residual value is the last month payment. So if you started on the first month, which is 1, on the 48th month, you're no longer going to pay the monthly payment, you are now going to pay the residual value. Therefore your car, you will settle it for 47 months, then on the 48th month you pay the residual value. Right, hope I made sense. So this is equals to 3,345 multiplied by 47 is equals to 157,250. right? This is the monthly installment, right? Then now let's go to the admin fees, right? Is it admin fees? Yeah, I think it's admin fee. Yeah, admin fee. So the admin fee here, the monthly admin fee, they say 2% of the monthly installment. How much is our monthly installment? So we can go straight and say this multiplied okay, right, already we have, remember they said the monthly fee, admin fee, it is 2.08% of the monthly installment. So when you look at this, already we have calculated the monthly installment here, right? We have calculated the monthly installment. We've calculated the monthly installment here. So to calculate the admin fee, we can say 157,215 multiplied by 2.08 over 100, which now it will give us okay, 3,270,072. all right, there it is, right? Then how much is our residual value? Our residual value, let's check, either is if it's going to be calculated or it is already given. So the residual value for the VW Polo is now 116,715. So we don't have to calculate, it is already given. 116,500 and is it 500? Let me check. 116,759. 759. okay, 759. Right, so we have our three amounts here. Let me just get something different. We have the three amounts that will give us a total cost of that vehicle. Right, here are our three amounts that will give us the total cost. So there's no need now to write the formula or whatever that we're going to do next. So we're going to say TC is equals to, then we check the monthly installment for 47 months is 157,215. 157,215 plus the admin fee. How much is our admin fee? Our admin fee is 3,270. 3,270, 0.072 plus the residual value of 116,759. So how much is our total cost? 157,215 plus 3,270, let me see this, if this comma is okay, 0.072, 0.0707 plus 116,759 is equals to 277,244,072. All right, that means this is our total cost. This is our total cost, right? This is going to be our total cost for the vehicle. Then you get your, how many marks was this? This was definitely 6 marks. Then you get your 6 marks, right? Let's go to the second question. I mean to the next question, 2.1.6. Let me do this. I'm going to add a page just next to this question so that I don't have to travel far. Right, Miss Smith invested 60,000 at a bank for 2 years with compound interest. In the first year, she received an interest rate of 4.3 per annum, while in the second year, the interest rate was 5.1% per annum. Mrs. Smith stated that she would have enough money at the end of the second year to pay the residual value for fourth figure. Verify showing all the calculation whether her statement is correct. Right, here what do we want to do? We must calculate her investment. Now after 2 years, how much will she receive back from the bank after she have invested 60,000? Will it be enough to cover the residual value for fourth figure? How much is the residual value? The residual value is 30% of 215,000, right? So now let's go and invest her 60,000 and see how much she's going to get after 2 years, right? Now, if you check there in the first year, I want to show you some trick here. You're not even going to waste time to calculate here. In the first year, they say she's going to receive the interest of 4.3%. 4.3%. Now, the method that I'm going to teach you right now, it is the method that gives you the returns after the first year. Right? You don't have to calculate the interest, the 4%, and then you add it back. You add the percentage extra. You understand? So what is happening is that this person, she is investing 100%. That amount that she is investing, I call it 100%. There is nothing on it. There are no interest earned on that 60,000. So it's going to be 100% plus 4.3%, which now at the end of the first year she's going to receive 104.3%. You understand? So when we calculate the investment for the first year, we're going to say 60,000 multiplied by okay, we can also now let me show you something again here. We had to, if we're using the percentage, we can use the percentage, but what I want to do, we're going to get the same answer, right? This percentage here, we can now convert this as to a number actually, no, by saying we divide here by 100, then we remove these percentages here, then we remove this percentage, so we're going to remain with 104.3 divided by 100. Then we remain with let me see, we remain with 1.043. Then we can multiply here with this 1.043. Then the answer is going to be 60,000 multiplied by 1.043. Now we can see that her investment now is going to be 62,508. This is what she's going to get after 2 years. I mean after 1 year. I'm sorry for that. Then on the second year, the balance, remember she's not using, let me see, she's using the compound interest. She's not using the simple interest. So every year the interest is added on the balance from the previous year, right? So when the bank start her second year of investment, they are going to start at a balance of 62,508. But now the interest, if you look at the information here, the interest now, they are saying, while in the second year the interest rate was 5.1%, so the interest have went up, correct? Okay, right. We're going to do the same thing. We're now going to change the interest, right? We want to avoid the situation whereby we take this 62, we multiply by 5.1%, and then we add it back. So we're going to say 5.1 plus 100 is equals to 105.1%. Then what do? We remove the percent here. We remove this percent, and then we actually divide here by 100, which now this will give us 1.051. Let me confirm it. 105.1 divided by 100, yes, which is now 1.051, right? So we can multiply here by 1.051, which now gives us 62,580 multiplied by 1.051, which now gives us 65,771.58. right? This is how much he's going to get after investing for 2 years, right? Remember, we haven't answered the question here. We only calculated how much she will receive on her investment, right? Now when you look here, they say Miss Smith stated that she would have enough money at the end of the second year to pay the residual value. Do you know the residual value of the fourth figure? No, but we have to calculate it. How are we going to calculate it? We're going to look for 30% of the retail price. Are we clear? So we need the 30% of the retail price. So the retail price of the fourth figure, it was 215,100. If we're going to multiply here by 30 over 100, so the residual value now is going to be 215,100 multiplied by 30 over 100, which now gives us 64,530. Now look at this and look at the investment. Look at how much she's going to receive. She's going to receive 65,771 to cover an amount of 64,000. So the answer, the question is, will this amount be enough to cover this? If it is enough, therefore her statement is invalid. Therefore, by looking here, we can see that this amount can actually cover this amount. Therefore, her statement is valid. This is a conclusion that you have to write. These have 1 mark for writing that the statement is valid. Right? Then we move. If you check, this was the last question. Then let's go check the next question. Okay, let me move myself again here. All right, so we are left with 5 questions. Okay, right. Now looking at this, now they say Annexa A shows an invoice of cell phone contract taken out by Mr. Fortune, right? So this is question 2.2. Now let me do this. Now here they say annexure. Remember, when you're writing the test, your annexures will be separated from your questions, right? So you will always find your annexures at the back of the question paper. So when you go to those annexures, you're only going to look for annexure A. I don't know why this to me. So if you check this annexure here, it says annexure A. Therefore, we are correct to use this annexure because it is the same as what they say we must use. This is annexure A. So that's what I wanted to show you. Right, let me put it just back so that we can see. I'm interested in seeing those amounts there. Right, now when you look at this cell phone contract here, when you look at this, we are having, okay, we have the cell phone account contract, we have the telephone number, we have the email address, the invoice date, account number, payment method, due date, areas. Then we have the address here. Then we have the summary. We have ABC made for you. This is our summary of charges for your ABC plan. We have ABC made for you XS. We have your ABC choice 5 gigs, right? So we can see that. We can see the VAT 15%. We can see the subtotal there. We can see even the devices, right? Now let's go to the questions now. 2.1. They say state the number of cell phone contracts shown on this invoice. So we're going to check under the summary here. So under this summary now we can see we have ABC made for US, we have ABC made for you XS, we have ABC choice 5 gig. So how many contracts are there? They are 3. They are 3. 2 marks. Name the cell phone contract which shows the most expensive device. So here is a device, here is a device, here is a device. So you must compare the prices you must compare these prices. Which one is high? Which one is high? We can see that now we're going to name what? The cell phone contract. So the cell phone contract is ABC. ABC what? Made for US. Made for US. Then you get your 2 marks. Show how the VAT amount of 142.95 was calculated. Let's check that amount. We can see it. It is right here. It is right here. So we want to know how was it calculated. Understand? So if you check everything here, every contract has a subtotal here. It says what? It says 15 exclusive of 15% VAT. Exclusive of 15% VAT. So the 145, it is the amount of VAT, right? So we want to know how was it calculated. So what are we going to do? If you check, this VAT is not favoring any contract here. It means this is the VAT for the 3 contracts, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to say the first contract is 355,65 plus, we only look at the subtotal, right? Plus 260 plus 260 plus 337,35. So we get an amount of, let's see, 355,65 plus 260 plus 337,35, which now gives me 953. Are we clear? So meaning that this amount of VAT, all of this subtotal, they exclude 15% VAT. So that means now we're going to multiply this with 15 over 100. Multiply by 15 over 100. So we get 142.95. Right. And remember, when you're going to mark your answer here, this doesn't have marks. 142 doesn't have marks because this, they only wanted to know how was it calculated. So your marks are going to be for adding and for writing 953 multiplied by 15 over 100. That is where you're going to get marks. Right. The next question, calculate the missing value A. So when you check, here is value A. So what is value A? Look at this. The total amount due for the current period. The amount due for the current period, right? And then they also say this is VAT inclusive. So the amount due is going to be the total for contract A, total for contract B, total for contract C. And then after that, let me add a page. So after that, we're also now going to include VAT, because the amount due, it must include VAT. So if you check, already we have calculated the total amount excluding VAT, so which is 953. So our answer is going to be 953, right, plus 142.95, which gives us 953 plus 142.95, which gives us 1095.95. This is the amount due, right? That is 2 marks. Now 2.2.2, state in words the probability of randomly selecting a cell phone contract that is not from ABC. Can you select a contract that is not from ABC? Because all the contract that you see here, let me change the color, let me make it blue. If you check the 3 contracts that we have, the first one from ABC, the second one from ABC, the third one from ABC. So is it possible to select a contract that is not from ABC? This was 2.2.5. So it's going to be impossible. The probability is impossible. How do we get this? You go to look at your probability scale, you know, the impossible, even, possible, you know, it will tell you that if a chance cannot happen, we know that it's impossible, you know. Yeah, you go look at those things. So in ways, then we're going to describe it as impossible. You understand? So in percentage, this is not part of this question, but I'm telling you, in percentage is going to be 0%. It's going to be 0 out of 3, because we cannot select any contract that is not from ABC, from the invoice, right? So this mark the end of this session. So make sure guys, make sure guys, that you subscribe to this channel. I am telling you, with this channel, if you follow this channel, you're not gonna fail Maths Lit. You're not gonna fail Maths Lit. Follow this channel. Every time when I upload a video, make sure that you're the first one to see the video, and please like my video. Thank you for watching my videos again, and thank you for doing that. And if you have anything to say, make sure that you comment, and then you tell me exactly what you want me to teach you next, right? So stay tuned. You will get question 3 and question 4 and question 5, right? Thank you. See you again.